Okay, you guys are going to be like professional artists today, and you're going to use your observation eyeballs. Can you guys get your observation eyeballs ready today? Okay, now, you are going to be drawing from something called a still life. What do you think that means?
Something still.
It is still, so does that mean we should be touching it? No, our hands should be off of it because if I touch it, is it going to be still? No, I want it to be so still so my hands are going to be far, far away. That's why Miss Meyer has your still life far away in the middle of the table, away from you. So, are we going to pull it closer to us? No, we're going to keep our hands off and we're going to keep it far away from us. Now, we don't use our hands to observe, we use our eyeballs to observe. And we let our eyeballs tell our brains how to tell our hands how to draw. So, before I start drawing, we're going to use our eyeballs and we're going to work together to figure out what kind of lines and shapes do I want to use to draw my pumpkin, okay? We're going to use all kinds of fall stuff today. Now, if I'm looking at my pumpkin, what are some things you notice that we could draw? Yes?
Lines.
Lines. What kind of lines? Describe them for me. Go ahead.
Curvy lines.
Curvy lines. And where are the curvy lines?
On the pumpkin.
Where on the pumpkin? On the round part? Who wants to add to that? Go ahead, Henry.
Like inside of it.
Inside of the pumpkin, we have curvy lines. Okay, what else?
So around the pumpkin,
Yeah, we have curvy lines around the pumpkin and on the pumpkin. What else do we notice? Yes, ma'am. What do you see on the stem? Lines. What kind of lines? Are they curvy lines? Or are they straight lines? What kind of shape would you say this stem is? A rectangle. Okay. Do you see any other kind of lines around the pumpkin? Not necessarily just the pumpkin. What else do you see? Janet? Oh, we see an oval on the pine cone. Do you see tiny little ovals on the pine cone as well? So the pine cone itself is an oval and maybe there's more ovals on top of it? Oh yeah, the spiky parts have lines on it. Okay, now I'm gonna talk through the way that I am gonna draw it. Are you gonna draw exactly the way Miss Meyer draws it? No, because are you gonna see the same exact pumpkin as Miss Meyer? No, are you gonna see it from the same place as Miss Meyer? No, so is it gonna look different? Yes, it is. So we talked about curvy lines. So first I'm gonna notice the curvy lines underneath my pumpkin. I'm gonna move it over here a little bit so you can still see it while I'm drawing. Okay, so I noticed that my pumpkin starts the curves this way, and the pumpkin is kind of coming towards me because it's got this really wonky part that's sticking out. And then it starts curving back in space a little bit more. Okay, now I'm gonna have it go up a little bit. And I also noticed there's curves on the top of the pumpkin, at the back of the pumpkin. Do you see that? Oh, you don't see that?
Yeah.
So if I were to tip it this way, just 1%, if I tip it this way, do you see the back of the pumpkin has bumps? Back on the back edge. Silently comes the rug. We're learning a lesson, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and stick my rectangle in the middle, and that's going to help me know that this line right here is going to curve up to my stem. I also noticed this curvy line, and I noticed this curvy line. Now, is Miss Meyer drawing this perfectly? No. Can we ever draw perfect? No, we can't. So, if we try to make it perfect, are we going to ever finish our pumpkin? No. And are we going to have very much fun if we're trying to make it perfect? No, it's no fun if we're trying to make it perfect. So it just has to be finished. Does that look like a pumpkin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it perfect? No. And that's fine because it makes it look like it has character. Now, what else could I add if I wanted to? Pine cones, maybe? Okay, so maybe we mentioned that, or Janet mentioned that the pine cone's like an oval. And we noticed that it had like oval lines sticking off of it. But then Henry also noticed it has kind of these triangle or rectangle, or what are these called? Rectangles on the side. You've noticed that? All right, Miss Meyer doesn't want to spend all of your drawing time drawing her own picture. So I want you, do you notice Miss Meyer drew it really big in the middle of the paper? I want you to try to fill up your paper, okay? See how much you can draw today. Okay, we're just using pencils. Miss Meyer isn't gonna bring erasers around because I want you to learn to accept the mistakes and figure out how to let those mistakes become something special in your artwork, okay? So if it's an unexpected line, you say, whoop, that's not what I thought it was gonna look like. That's okay. Let's make it work, okay? Can we do that? All right, when I call your name, you're gonna go over to the blue bookshelf. You're gonna pick out either blue, orange, red, or yellow paper, and you are going to go to your table and start using your observation eyeballs and try to draw as best you can from what you see, okay?